Hello, and welcome back to Two Therapists Walk into a Podcast. I'm Robin Green, LCSW in Tucson, Arizona.
And I'm Stephanie Etzel, LCSW here in Salt Lake City, Utah.
We are in Series 9, A Year in the Room, and this week we are at episode 50, which feels like something worth pausing on just for a second.
50 episodes? We'll take it.
We will, and we're marking it by going back to one episode that hit a little differently than we expected when we made it. This is episode 20, Self-Trust in Relationships, from Series 4, Emotionally Unparented. And just a side note, I feel like Series 4 is like our rising star.
Yeah, I do too.
I love that series. But so this is a mini episode, but not a small one.
Never small.
It's mega in our heart.
So let's go.
Let's arrive. You're worthy of being here, wherever you are, whatever today has looked like, and especially whatever your body has been carrying. So let's welcome whatever body you're in. And take a breath if that's available, or just notice that you're here. That's enough. If self-trust is tender territory for you, if the idea of relying on your own instincts has felt complicated or out of reach, this episode was made with that in mind. You don't have to have it figured out to be here. So let's begin. I think episode 20 came out of something that we were sitting with a lot in the room. How often the people who are the most attuned to everyone else around them have the hardest time then trusting themselves. And I really don't think that that's a coincidence.
I completely agree. Think about this. When people grow up in an environment where needs are not consistently met, where the adults around you were perhaps unpredictable or unavailable, where you learn to read the room just to stay safe, you get very good at tracking other people and very out of practice trusting what's happening inside you, and I'd say even fearful.
And that's not a character flaw. And I think that we really hit home on that in that episode, that's really adaptation. So you learn to outsource your sense of safety to the people around you because at some point that's what the situation required.
Right. And the problem is that adaptation follows you into friendships, into partnerships, into every relationship where you're trying to figure out if you're okay by watching other people's faces instead of checking in with yourself.
And what we've continued to see since episode 20 is how deeply the nervous system is involved in this. So self-trust isn't just a mindset shift, it's a physiological one. When your nervous system learned early that your own perceptions weren't reliable because maybe they were dismissed or punished, or that you needed all the evidence to make it true, or maybe simply never reflected back to you, trusting yourself becomes something your body resists, and so not just your mind.
I really appreciate you bringing that up. I think it's why telling someone just trust themselves rarely works. The nervous system needs evidence. It needs repeated experiences of listening to itself, acting on what it heard, and finding its way through. Building self-trust is slow. That's that repetition. It's worth every bit of slowness, though. And maybe that's subjective.
There's also something important to name about relationships specifically. We often think of self-trust as a solo project, something you build in private and then bring into connection. But safe relationships are one of the primary places self-trust gets rebuilt. Being with someone who takes your perceptions seriously, who lets you have needs, who doesn't require you to manage yourself into their comfort, that's not just nice to have. That's really repair.
It includes the relationship you're building with yourself, which is the quietest and sometimes the most radical one of all. I know that that's been my experience.
It's so radical.
Very.
Okay, nervous system nugget. We're talking about neuroception, a term coined by Dr. Stephen Porges, and how it connects directly to self-trust.
Neuroception is your nervous system's unconscious process of scanning for safety or threat. It's happening below awareness all the time, reading cues from your environment, from other people's faces and voices and movements, and from inside your own body.
And so the relevant part in all of this is when neuroception has been shaped by early experiences of unpredictability or harm, it can start firing inaccurately. Your system reads threat where there isn't one or misses it where there is. And when that happens consistently, you stop trusting your own reads because they've felt wrong before.
I have a client that experiences this exact thing, and we are working very hard to help her learn what to pull back and what to build so she can stay safe. Because neuroception can be recalibrated, and I tell people that all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
It is not overnight, not by willpower, through safe experience, through co-regulation, through slowly learning that your body's signals are worth paying attention to. The system updates. It just needs the right conditions.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Me too.
And every time you pause, check in with yourself and honor what you find, even in a small way. You're giving your nervous system evidence that its signals matter, that you're listening. That accumulates. That's connection with the self. Slowly, quietly, it really does matter.
Our coping skill today is orienting, and we're bringing it back with a specific lens: self-trust.
We come back to orienting often on this show because it keeps being the right place to start. And today we want to add one layer to it.
So, as you let your gaze move around the space, taking in what's actually here: colors, shapes, light, notice what your body is telling you right now. Not to fix it or to even interpret it, just to hear it. Really listen.
Is there tension somewhere? Even ease? A sense of something being okay, or maybe not okay. Whatever is there, just let it be information. Maybe data from a system that has been trying to communicate with you for a long time.
And then this is the self-trust piece. See if you can let that information matter, even just a little. Even just by noticing it without immediately taking yourself out of it.
You are not being asked to act on anything right now, just to listen, to treat what your body is saying as worth hearing. And that's the practice. Small, repeated, unglamorous, and over time, it changes things.
I very much appreciate the unglamorous part because
Me too.
I do. It's just healing is not pretty outside. It's definitely not
It's
linear.
gross.
It's ugly
And beautiful.
crying. Yeah, it is. It's that, yeah, yeah, guys, it's just not that beautiful at times. The results are, and that's really what we're after. So we'll keep coming back to orienting, and we'll keep finding new reasons why it belongs at the beginning.
Self-trust has been a thread running through a lot of my own work this year. And what I keep coming back to is how much easier it is to talk about it than to practice. Even knowing everything I know, there are still moments where I catch myself looking outward for permission to trust what I already feel. What's shifted is how quickly I catch it now and what I do with it when I do. I've gotten better at pausing, checking in, treating my own read as worth something. And that changes a lot downstream. And it's made me more honest with clients about it too. That self-trust really isn't something you arrive at and keep. It's something you return to, especially when things get hard, especially in the dark.
Yeah. For me, this episode deepens something about how I sit with clients who are just beginning to trust themselves. There's a particular kind of courage in that early stage. Oof, makes my eyeballs burn, tears. When the evidence isn't there yet, when the nervous system is still skeptical and someone chooses to listen to themselves anyway. That's not a small thing to witness. And I never try to rush past it. What I've come to believe, and what I find myself saying more and more in the room, is that self-trust might matter most when everything feels uncertain, not when life is clear and manageable. Just like Robin said, in the dark, when you can't see what's coming and you have to decide whether to listen to yourself anyway. That's when it counts. That's when all the small practice adds up. This week's reflection question: where in your life are you waiting for someone else to confirm what you already know? Just notice it. You don't have to do anything with it yet. Let that sit with you gently.
"50 episodes in, and we are so grateful that you're here. Thank you for trusting us with your time, your healing, your stories. It really means more than we can say.
And we'll see you next week. And remember, healing isn't linear, and we're here for the ride. This podcast is for educational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for therapy, medical care, or professional advice.
Listening to this podcast or this episode does not create a therapeutic, clinical, or professional relationship with us.
If you're experiencing distress, physical symptoms, or emotional concerns that feel overwhelming, we both encourage you to seek support from a qualified healthcare or mental health professional.
And if you are in immediate danger or need urgent support, please contact local emergency services or a crisis line in your area.